A 2016 Chevy Malibu front brake job. We had to replace the brakes on this Chevy Malibu. You're going to need a lug wrench, definitely. You're going to need a jack, wooden blocks, and a jack stand. Safety first. And you're also going to need a big old C-clamp for a couple of things. And don't forget your brake cleaner, your brake spray. Spray those brakes and the components down to remove dust. Before you get started, apply the parking brake. And then after that, you're going to chalk the wheels. You have to put something behind the wheels to keep the car from rolling. Blocks or wheel chocks are going to work. Like I said, safety first. As far as when I do it, this is just informational. It's not instructional. But I always chalk the wheels and look at that, I put blocks under the car as well as the jack. So the car is supported by the jack and the blocks or the jack stands, whatever you have handy. And when you take the wheel off, again, spray everything with that brake cleaner and take the C-clamp and you want to set it up like this. Make sure the back of the other end of the C-clamp is on bare metal. It's not on a rubber, on hoses or anything delicate. So that's how I put on my C-clamp. Then I have the other end right there pushing into the caliper because you have to compress the brakes. And those two bolts on the back side of the caliper, 14 millimeter, they come out. And that's going to allow you to, if you take one out, you can pivot it like this. And that's good because it allows you later on, after we put the new brakes in, that's going to allow you to rock that back and lubricate the back of the brake pads without making a mess, without getting grease on the rotors or the calipers. You just simply, rub it in where the calipers make contact with the brake pads. And that's going to be on the back sides of the brake pad. You have a brake pad on the front and you have a brake pad on the back. Putting this bolt in like this, when you put it back together, it's going to allow you to grease the pads safely and easily. And by the way, these new brakes come with hardware, new brackets and things like that. So first you're going to take those old brackets out. They pretty much pop out. You may need a screwdriver, but they pop out. And then you just put the new hardware in, the new brackets. Just make sure when you put the new brackets in, it's a good idea to double check them because you want the ears of the bracket to kind of slant away from the brake pads. Now, once you insert the new brake pads into the brackets, they're going to slide in. The ears of the brake pads are going to sit in the grooves of the new brackets. And then you're going to use a C-clamp to compress the caliper more, just in case you can't slide that caliper down over the new brakes because they're thicker. You can take that C-clamp like I just showed you and compress them further so that the caliper allows you more space so that you can then close it on top of the new brakes. And we're back to those bolts in the back. We're going to put those in. But like I told you before, I kind of like to put one in and leave one off. That allows me to pivot the caliper, and then I can grease the front side and the back side of the brake pad. And when you do remove the caliper, in this case, I rested mine on top of the rotor because it just fits so perfectly. But typically, on some of my vehicles, I use a piece of wire and I suspend it because you don't want the thing to be hanging by the brake hoses. They're delicate. So just put your wheels on, take the chocks away, and release the parking brake. And you pretty much saved a bunch of money. That cost me about $70. I'm sure the man would have charged me $300. So it always works out to do your own brakes because I say saving money is making money. Be safe. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a blessed day.